listen up, folks. Just because Joe Biden was alive during the Revolutionary War doesn't mean he remembers it very well. Now, the proof of this has come time and time again. And yet, here again recently, when he's tried to pawn off the idea that private American citizens have never been able to purchase, wait for it, a cannon. Yes, the benighted challenger of such formidable enemies as Corn Pop occasionally hoists himself to the lectern to let us know that, as usual, he hasn't got the faintest idea what he's talking about. Now, this comment always comes as a part of the package deal that is Joe Biden's gun control stance, which follows hard on the heels of the standard left side of the debate, which is to say the side which has embraced almost criminal ignorance on the subject. Even if Biden weren't pulling his statements about not being able to own a cannon out of his own ass, in other words, he'd be pulling it out of someone else's ass, because that's where most of the facts pro-gun control people come from. That's where they come from, out of somebody's ass. But here's the kicker. Not only could you own a cannon in the time before, during, and immediately following the Revolutionary War, you can own one today. That's right. For a little bit of money to get the proper licensing, because why wouldn't you have to pay the government? You got to pay the government something. You can become the proud owner of a cannon. And I think there's a pretty good argument to be made here that you should. I mean, after all, it'd be funny as hell to see old Sleepy Joe's face light up with confusion. He'd probably think we were back in the Revolutionary War. And let's get back to the main point here. The reason that Joe Biden is using statements like this really has nothing to do with whether or not you own a cannon. He doesn't care about that. What he does care about is changing the public perception of what is meant by the Second Amendment. Because this is the left's strategy anytime they want to make a change to the way we do things we've always done in America. They can't magically make the Constitution go away. I mean, at least not yet. So they have to find a way to convince you and me that what the founders really meant was different than what we've always understood it to mean. And there's no doubt that they win some hearts and minds to their way of thinking with this tactic, but I don't think they win very many, at least with this issue. We all know pretty dadgum well what the Constitution has to say about gun ownership by American citizens, and furthermore, we know why they said it. We're protecting against precisely the form of tyranny that the left would love nothing more than to instigate right now. You know, if we didn't have all these pesky guns hanging around and would kick their asses if they really tried, but it's a sneaky tactic on the part of Joe Biden and his ilk to try to convince you that the founding fathers had gun control in mind because private citizens couldn't own cannons. Now, the equivalent of what they would call assault weapons, that's what a cannon would be considered today, all right? Yeah, whatever. Now, it's sneaky first because it's not true, but that's not the sort of thing the average American might just know off the top of his or her head. But it's also sneaky because it roots at the fragile paradigm always trying to shift it bit by bit into something else. We have to be wary of that, and for God's sake, go out and buy yourself a damn cannon if you can, because you never know when they're going to actually outlaw them for real. Love y'all. God bless.